Alright, welcome to Right on the Edge. I'm going to react today to Brett Cooper's coverage of the Epstein files. Sorry for dogs in the background. They're fucking retarded. Alright, let's watch it and see what she has to say.
Is angry at me because I want you guys to be thin and fertile, and the fact that I like pop culture, and I am not apologizing for any of it. Epstein may or may not have killed himself, and Carnival Cruises have decided that they no longer want to be the Spirit Airlines of the sea. Let's get into it.
Oh, okay. Alright. It took me a second to remember what Spirit Airlines were, so. Alright.
So in keeping with all of the personal updates, I really have nothing to share in regards to the animals and my mom's move. Everything has been relatively calm. We have not had any Alex and sheep chases at 3 a.m. for the last week, which has been great. I definitely have popped more in the last week, so it literally looks like I have swallowed a basketball. Like I am perfectly
Oh, well, congratulations.
round everywhere. Like I'm just like waddling around like a little like bowling ball human being. So that has been very fun. We are doing 2 shows in Nashville over the next month because I don't want to get on a plane anymore, but I felt bad because we did nothing in Nashville. So we have those dates at brettcooper.com. I am doing my last bit of traveling this week though, and I will be at a Turning Point event this weekend. What else do I have to share? Alex is sick right now, which means that he is like walking around with the man flu, acting like he is dying. He looks like a zombie. I was laughing with my manager earlier because I walked in yesterday, guys, and he was sitting on our couch just staring into the void, and I thought that he was watching Lord of the Rings, but he was not. He had just pulled up a YouTube like video compilation of like Hobbit music, like Lord of the Rings style music, and it just had like AI populated photos of like little hobbit things, and he was just sitting there like watching on our huge TV. So that is how everything is
Yep.
going in our house, which honestly sounds a lot
Good job, man. Make it better.
better than what is going on in the world right now. But before we get into that, make sure that you like this video and subscribe to our channel if you've not already, and of course ring that notification bell so you always stay up to date on all of our uploads. That helps us out so much in the algorithm. And if you want to stay up to date on all of the live events and all things Brett Cooper, make sure to go to brettcooper.com. Alright, so I think you guys know this about me by now, but I rarely respond to hate or criticism. Like if there's a hit piece about me or anything like that, like I usually stay silent. I usually let it wash over. I would rather not give it any attention.
That's the way to do it,
There
I
is
think.
a specific something that has been going on in the mainstream media right now. Like the same type of article just keeps being written time and time again, and I just keep being included. So I thought that we should talk about it because these hit pieces just keep coming. And the first one actually came out back in April, but again, like I said, I don't usually talk about these, but this headline cracked me up. It says, "The Rise of the Woman Sphere. Brett Cooper, Candace Owens influencing young women to be thin, fertile, and Republican." Like,
I mean, two of those things are just objectively good, I would think, because I imagine by thin they just mean healthy. Yeah.
Like, guys, that's basically a backhanded compliment. You're so angry that I want young women to be thin and fertile. Like, I'm
Thin and
sorry,
fertile,
that's
damn.
hot. That's just like objectively a good thing. Who would not want to be thin and fertile? Like, that's healthy. That's amazing. Like, you guys hate us so much. You hate my values and the way I vote and who I am so much that you would rather die on the hill of being fat and infertile. Like, that's really how you want to go down. Like, I'm so glad that
Yeah, I
you put
think
that
that's
all out there. I'm so glad that
why
you are saying
that
the
is
quiet
how they
part
would rather go
out
down.
loud. But guys,
Yeah.
the articles did not stop there because more and more keep coming out with the same sentiment. Because here is another one that came out recently that is also from The Guardian. Apparently The Guardian got their talking points this spring, but this headline reads, "The woman's sphere is the latest cultural propaganda assault on young womanhood."
They always phrase these things like assaults. You know, it's always, oh, it's the end of the world. That's pretty great. That is fantastic.
Will it work? And then most recently, just 2 weeks ago, this one was from CNN, how a new wave of conservative influencers and magazines is courting young women with lifestyle and celebrity content. Oh no, guys, the propaganda assault. We're courting you all with lifestyle and celebrity content. Now, the thing that cracks me up,
At least courting is a little bit less aggressive than assault. Yeah, can't give CNN too much credit, but at least there's that.
About all of these pieces is that they are so appalled by the fact that me and other content creators like myself, that we talk about things other than politics. Like, we talk about things that relate to pop culture and celebrity and lifestyle and health, whatever it is, like whatever interests us, we talk about. But the fact that people like me would identify as being conservative makes it so appalling that we would step outside of our lane when literally that is what they have been doing for years. And what is hilarious in that CNN article is that they interviewed a bunch of women at the top of the piece who were interacting with EV Magazine content on social media. So they would say like, oh, you know, I agreed with their take on X, Y, and Z, and I thought that they had a funny post about this celebrity thing, and then I looked at their page, and I was horrified.
Oh, goodness. Demons, man. This type of drama is so surface level. It's so surface level. It's let's just keep watching, I guess.
Because I saw Trump, I saw right-wing content, and I could not believe that this was on my algorithm. I could not believe that I had been bamboozled by these right-wing content creators. They literally said, I found what they posted to be hateful and trying to trick people into reading their views. Okay, God forbid you have to interact with something that maybe is not perfectly aligned with your worldview. Like, EV Magazine is not trying to trick you.
I think that's true. Like, a lot of times we get hoodwinked into thinking that we can't consume stuff that doesn't align with us, but I think that's how you learn. It's also, if there's something you disagree with, the best way to argue against it is to watch it and understand it.
Sorry, their content actually is not all about you. It's for their readers, who, shockingly, are interested in things other than just Donald Trump and conservative politics. Their viewers and their readers are also interested in Johnny Depp, in Blake Lively, in Timothée Chalamet and Kylie Jenner, and what that means for celebrity relationships. Like, they are women who are interested in female things. That is not an attack on you. Like, literally, the world does not revolve around you, and not everything has to succumb to your worldview. And
Also, calling it an attack is kind of crazy. You know, we like to use language like this, though, yeah? Especially in the entertainment industry and stuff like that. They'll use this language irresponsibly. That's all I say.
so this is just so funny because how do you think we all felt when we spent years reading Teen Vogue magazine or 17 or Cosmopolitan, just wanting to read about some celebrity gossip or, you know, figure out the nail color of the season, and suddenly we were assaulted by, as you want to say, propaganda of gender and sexual identity and hit pieces on Trump when literally we were just trying to read about some celebrity that was in the news? Like, isn't that basically the same thing? And you guys all
I'm gonna skip ahead a little bit. No offense, Brett Cooper. I'm just not interested in this.
pedophilia and the Holocaust. CNN, like, I promise you, this is not some grand thing that I've put together. But since all of these hit pieces are because of social media posts about pedophilia and the Holocaust, so obviously we are dealing with a
There we go. Yeah, let's get into it.
great guy here for sure. Just wanted to lay out that context and that foundation. Now, clearly, James Gunn did not learn from every other director over the past decade or so that took a classic film that taught traditional, good, wholesome values and turned it into a piece of garbage that no one wanted to see. Because here is what we all can look forward to in this movie. Just listen, here we go. A 10-minute scene that just features Clark and Lois talking about geopolitics and whether Superman should have stopped a war. It is exactly how to make a superhero movie to engage adults. I'm sorry, we literally deal with geopolitical
I don't think so. I think we want escapism with a tad of reality just to keep us grounded in it. But not like... not the type of shit... Not this. I don't think it's this. This ain't the way.
debates on a daily basis on the news, on X, on Facebook, on Blue Sky, wherever the frick you are on social media, that basically consumes our brain cells.
I'm on social media as little as possible. As little as possible.
24/7. The way to engage adults in 2025 is to give them an escape. You want them to be able to go into a movie theater and get their overpriced bag of AMC popcorn and sit down and just forget about the world for 2.5 hours. Make it like Top Gun or Twisters, where they can escape into a world of heroism and inspiration and patriotism. It doesn't even need to be patriotic. I mean, it's Superman, so it probably should be a little bit patriotic. but give them something to aspire to that is not the real world.
Yeah, I think often people look for a standard that's higher than themselves. I think that's fair.
Like, I'm sorry, yes, we are engaged in geopolitical debates on social media. That does not mean that that is what we want when we spend $18 or whatever it is to go see an IMAX movie. Like, seriously, like, the cognitive dissonance is insane. Anyway, I haven't even gotten to his quote yet, but he goes on and he says, "It is definitely the most unusual thing that we put in the movie." Yeah. This is a Superman film for the ages of endless discourse, with the difference being that the people, Clark and Lois, who disagree with each other here, are willing to discuss and even perhaps learn. Again, this is too real world. Give me an escape. He says, yes, it is about politics, but on another level, it is about morality. Do you never kill no matter what, which is what Superman believes, or do you have some balance, as Lois believes? It's really about their relationship and the way that different opinions on basic moral beliefs can tear two people apart. Like, guys, that right there is the quickest way to make me not want to see a movie. And I'm not.
I'm actually not against that last thing. Going through the moral values of what makes Superman Superman and what makes Lois Lane Lois, I think that's fine. Because it's kind of like a human perspective, like a very mortal perspective, versus the perspective of a being that is virtually uh, immune to damage.
Not even mad about these themes being covered in a movie. I actually think that what he said there at the end is very insightful. That's interesting. That is a very integral part of the human experience, you know, disagreeing with somebody that you have a close relationship with and trying to navigate that and figure that out. And all great works of art have philosophical and moral undertones. That is a net good thing. But the difference is, most great writers do not tell you that those tones are there. They don't go into this saying, this is what I want you to take from this. This is the political undertone that I am going to
Yeah, I kind of agree with that. Yeah.
force feed you. It's like a comedian explaining his joke or a magician explaining how he did a trick. Like, we don't need that. Just let it go unsaid. Let the magic and the story speak for itself. That is the problem that I see with most of Hollywood right now, is that they are like hitting you over
Yeah.
the head with this gavel of morality and, you know, political messaging. Like, just let us enjoy the movie. I really don't care about your ideology. I just want it to be compelling, and I just want to freaking escape. He goes on to say, I mean, Superman is the story of America, an immigrant that came from other places and populated the country, but for me it is mostly a story that says basic human kindness is a value and is something that we have lost. I ask if he has considered how differently the film might play in, say, a blue state, New York, aka Metropolis, and Kansas, where Kent grew up. Yes, it plays differently, Gunn admits, but it's about human kindness, and obviously there will be jerks out there who are just not.
That's kind of. Man, it's always so hostile. It could just be as simple as people not wanting this stuff in their movies. And it's not like it's not going to be there. It will be there. But you could just not talk about it. You could have just I think she covered it well right there. You could just not talk about it. I mean, for real. That's it.
Kind and will take it as offensive just because it is about kindness, but screw them. And of course, this is a class
It's always screw them, man. It always ends with that. Like, screw you, screw us, screw them. It's not them, man. We're all just people out here trying to live.
thing. We have seen this for years now. If audiences don't like your movie, if they don't get it, they are the problem. They're the bigots. They're backwards. They are not progressive enough. It's not that your movie is objectively bad and didn't reach them. It is that they just aren't ready for it. Like, I'm sorry, but sometimes it is actually just the movie. Now, like I said, all of that came out in February. He has only leaned in more, especially with everything going on with Trump and ICE right now. He is really leaning into the fact that this is an immigrant story that you need to get behind, and he even went so far as to get his family involved, because at the premiere last night, James's brother, who is an actor, Sean Gunn, he is in Gilmore Girls, which obviously I love. I grew up watching Sean Gunn, so this was a painful video to have to consume, but he doubled down on behalf of his brother, and he said this. Take a watch.
It is exactly what the movie is about. I think that, like, we support our people, you know? We love our immigrants. We love, yes, Superman is an immigrant, and yes, the people that we support in this country are immigrants. And
Man, I wish people that really supported these issues had better mouthpieces in the public sphere. You know, I feel like even if I disagree at this point or don't disagree at this point, I feel like They have to have somebody better to communicate that.
And if you don't like that, then you're not American.
Oh, great. Perfect. Thank you.
Yeah, if you don't like that, you're anti-America. If that's wild.
Sean Gunn, thank you for that prolific, profound statement. You can even see in the video, he's like grasping at straws. He's like, I know I need to make some political statement, my brother.
Yeah, it did feel like that. It came off very ingenuine, and how it seemed kind of like he's like, oh, I have to support whatever the current thing is right now. That's kind of an LA thing that I think I've been there a few times, and even just listening to people talk, it gives that vibe of a type of people where they have to feel like they have to know something of that nature.
This movie isn't really getting the best reviews, so how can I make this as political as possible? You just have to love immigrants, and if you are not loving immigrants, then you're not American. Like, dude, that's not even the point right now. That's not even what is going on in the world right now. Like, most people support legal immigration. We understand that this country was built on the backs of immigrants. It is made incredible by the fabric of immigration in our country. Most everyone agrees with that.
Yeah, exactly.
But what we do not support, what we are fighting against right now, is unchecked illegal immigration, which hurts a society in every single way. There is a distinction there. There is a grave, grave difference that you guys seem to not be able to comprehend. Now, my friend Cogman, who I love, he just posts great things about comics and movies on X, but he said Superman loves America. This is how he's different.
Yeah.
He fully assimilated into the country, and he upholds the rule of law, the bare minimum that illegal aliens are not willing to do. Sorry, James Gunn, the quintessential American superhero is not a poster boy for your left-wing politics.
Thanks, man. That's exactly the point. I could never have said it that well. Like, you know, this is how you know people are smarter than you. Yep.
True. No matter how you massage and mold and rearrange the pieces of Superman, he will never be that for you. And all of this is just especially ridiculous because Superman is a story at its core about a refugee written by the children of refugees who fled Russia, which is not the same as the mass illegal immigration that we are dealing with in our country, especially from cartel and gang.
Not only that, in every version of Superman that I've already read from the beginning, you know, he always has rural roots. You know, he gets those values from two people that took him in, took care of him, sheltered him, and then he honored and respected their values and represented them in the real world. And a lot of times when he was facing moral quandaries, he doesn't go, you know, to the news. He doesn't go to anywhere else to figure out the moral guidelines or, you know, moral guiding and to get help. A lot of times he'd go back to his adopted parents. It's a, I don't know, it's such a good story. It's just a good story.
Members who do not uphold the rule of law, who do not assimilate, who do not even learn our language and go around dealing drugs and murdering people.
Yeah, that happens a lot. It's not all of them, obviously. Without that shouldn't even have to be said. But yeah, that's the problem. And another problem is that they're actively not being punished. They're not being held accountable. And they make having unverified, unvetted people in the country makes it unsafer. And bad people exploit that.
Out in daylight on our street. That is not the same as Superman. And if you think it is, then I'm sorry, you should not even be directing a Superman movie to begin with if that is what you think of him. But that complexity and that understanding obviously does not matter to Gunn. He is
and
just
I actually
another
like James
Hollywood
Gunn.
parasite, which I wish the
I like James Gunn's movies for the most part. I'm just gonna throw that out there. No disrespect to James Gunn. Hopefully, this is just a bad take, probably.
wellness company Parasite Cleanse would get rid of, but they do detox a lot of other things. And if you've ever wondered why your brain feels foggy even when you're eating clean and you're exercising, well, it might not be because of burnout. It could be honestly just so disheartening that
I'm just skipping ahead. Sorry, Brett. That's not my type of thing. I'm really trying to figure out where the Epstein file stuff begins here.
this movie is so clearly politically motivated and that is the messaging that they are running with, because, you know, from a nonpartisan angle, Superman should be a character that we can all relate to. He should be the embodiment of American ideals and American exceptionalism.
All right, I'm just gonna say I'm agreeing with you on all these points. That's exactly right. Now let's get to what I came here for. I'm gonna skip ahead a little bit.
Names and the victims. Just take a watch.
We have flight logs, we have information, names that will come out.
Is it going to be
Good.
shocking?
I don't see how it's not shocking that there were so many individuals that were hidden.
Yeah,
and
hidden. So
kept
many individuals.
secret and not been held accountable. Let's talk about the reverse. I believe in accountability, so you have to now go through your process.
Guys, that was in February. She
Yeah.
said information, names,
In
flight logs,
February.
but there were
Fucking
individuals
crazy.
that were never held accountable, that should be held accountable, and that it would shock us. And now, however many months later, we have nothing. The case is closed. Nothing. There's nope. It was just Epstein. Like, I'm sorry. Do you really expect the American people to believe that when your spokespeople were on air?
Not only believe it, but do you think those people are that stupid? Like, do you think we're all that stupid?
Saying this, and it wasn't just her. Soon after, Pam Bondi said that the Epstein files were on her desk for review. Take a watch.
DOJ may be releasing the list of Jeffrey Epstein's clients. Will that really happen?
It's sitting on my desk right now to review.
The thing is, was she making shit up, or was it really on her desk for review? Because that was also like 3 or 4 months ago now.
It's been a directive by President Trump.
It is on her desk for review. Do you have the list of clients? It is on my desk to review. Now,
Yeah, on my desk to review. Well, where is it?
it is definitely plausible that she did have files on her desk to review, and she reviewed them, and there were no names. Maybe it was like the Diddy case where there were a lot of people
I would be
linked to Epstein,
shocked
but they were not actually
if
involved
there
in
was
the
no
drafting that he
names
was
at
doing.
all.
However, now the White House is attempting to rewrite history and saying that she never actually had a list to review in the first place. Listen
Yeah,
to
that's what's
Caroline Levitt's
crazy.
response to Peter Doocy just yesterday.
So what happened to the Epstein client list that the Attorney General said she had on her desk?
Well, I think if you go back and look at what the Attorney General said in that interview, which was on your network, on Fox
I've
News.
got the quote.
Go ahead.
John Roberts said, DOJ may be releasing the list of Jeffrey Epstein's clients. Will that really happen? And she said, it's sitting on my desk right now to
I am really glad that he had the quote ready to go. Good job.
review.
Yes, she was saying the entirety of all of the paperwork, all of the paper in relation to Jeffrey Epstein's crimes. That's what the Attorney General was referring to, and I'll let her speak for that. But again, when it comes to the FBI and the
man,
Department of
that's
Justice,
hard.
they are more than committed to ensuring
That's
that bad
tough.
people are put behind bars.
So basically what they're trying to do is just minimize all of this and move on from it.
Yeah, but that's not how you do it. That's not how you do it. It's the Streisand effect. The longer you put this off, the more it stays in the public sphere. Yeah. And I'm glad to see all these creators really bringing attention to this because it's important. It's important that we know.
I mean, immediately after Caroline goes into the massive successes that the Trump admin is having with the Department of Justice and putting away bad people, all of that is great. I think they all would be happy that the murder rate is trending lower than it has in years under Trump, but that's not the point. That's not what we're dealing with right now. There were promises, and there were little kernels that were dropped in front of us for months, and now it seems like everything has just gone away. And
Not only that, like I believe in interviews, Trump has called out like Prince Andrew and Bill Clinton by name. And said like, oh, they're probably not doing that good anymore. News about certain islands coming out. Was he lying too, man? Is everybody in this situation just bullshitting? Who knows?
another thing that was really interesting in this press conference is that another reporter asked a similar question to Peter Doocy, and Caroline responded and said, well, you know, we can't really release anything because there are horrifying videos and they involve children. Like, we can't release child porn. But then the question is, like, well, okay, well, who is in those videos? Was it just Jeffrey, or are there other people? Is there not a list, but there are people that are on camera? Like, it's just, like, there's so many unanswered questions. And the fact that this has all just been shut down with one memo, like,
Yeah.
go away, don't talk about it anymore, we're moving on, is obviously going to piss off the American people. And it's unfortunate because they might actually be telling us the truth. There might actually be
Yeah.
nothing there
It's
except
possible,
Epstein.
except
But
for the
way
fact
that
they
all of
haven't
this is being
released it.
handled makes it look like they have something to hide. Like, even going back to the night that Jeffrey Epstein died in jail. Like, ever since his death, the government and the media has made it very clear that the cameras were not working that night.
Yeah. All the reporting said the cameras weren't working. Both guards were asleep. Yeah, the number of victims have gone up. Like, I've seen clips of interviews that said, like, oh, over 200 victims, blah, blah, blah. Thousands of tapes. And then they're trying to convince us it was all, like, Jeffrey Epstein.
That they could not see what was going on. Everyone reported that fact, including the FBI. It was on Fox News, it was in the New York Times, it was on BBC. Everybody reported this fact that the cameras malfunctioned, something happened. They could not determine whether somebody had come in and out of his cell to not rule it a suicide. Now, conveniently, in 2025, years later, they apparently have 10 hours of footage that
10
they
hours
just
of
released
footage.
to supposedly show that nobody entered his cell. Now, there also is a 1-minute discrepancy, apparently, like almost as it hits midnight, where it just completely skips, and there's a minute that is missing, which they don't have an answer for. But, like, where did you get this footage in the first place? Now, apparently...
Yeah. Yeah, the whole situation's suspicious. It is very suspicious. Nothing I can do about that, except for just call it out, man, because that's crazy.
Apparently the camera is in a different location and it wasn't like exactly over his cell, but the story was that there was no way to tell. That there were no cameras working, that it was this crazy conspiracy, like, how?
Yeah.
How did this all happen?
Both
You
guards
let
fell
us
asleep, no
believe
cameras
that. The
working.
media led us astray, and now you're just gonna drop...
I'm going to say it's probably not the media on this one. It's more like the facilities and the government agencies that are investigating this that led us astray. The media just reported on it and helped. I'm gonna blame the agencies on this one.
These 10 hours of footage and go, oh, there it is, and you're just going to expect that people are going to have questions, that they're not going to be critical or be concerned at the way that all of this like played out. And also, what about the infamous little black book? And if you don't remember, Ghislaine Maxwell was Jeffrey Epstein's partner in crime, literally his on and off again girlfriend, the woman who actually trafficked these young girls.
And somehow, even though Epstein's the only one that did it, she's also guilty too. So how does that work?
And a huge part of her case was whether or not her little black book full of contacts would be used as evidence. I mean,
yeah.
Here are a couple of articles. This one is from 2019, another from 2021, another later, about this alleged client list. Sealed Jeffrey Epstein court documents name at least 1,000 people.
Yeah, 1,000 people,
decide
man.
whether to release them. What to know about the contacts book that could be crucial to Ghislaine Maxwell's trial. Here's another one. Ghislaine Maxwell's little black book to remain secret in court deal. Now, in the end, to be fair,
Crazy.
the reason why she's behind bars for 20 years, what her case was actually about, was just about Jeffrey and her trafficking women to him and him alone.
I'm just gonna say that sounds like a bunch of bullshit. A bunch of bullshit. But I'm glad that this is something all sides right now seem to be aligning on, is the fact that the government and media sources at the moment are trying to feed us a bunch of bullshit and call it cake. So, yeah. Man, I don't know. What do you guys think? Leave me a little comment. Just tell me how much of this you believe is true, or are you on like the general side of people thinking it's bullshit? You know, I'm willing to believe. I am willing to be wrong, right? As long as they release stuff proving that I'm wrong. But I'm open to being wrong, but they can't release nothing after saying all this shit and then just go back on all the stuff they said and be like, oh no, that never happened. That never happened. Alright, well that's me. Thanks for watching. and goes to court Brett Cooper.